Floor is yours.
Since Nick's ready.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. This is a portion of the meeting, like always, that you're not on the agenda and you got something you want to bring up. We'll listen to you, entertain it, but we can't act on it until the next meeting. So is there anybody on the agenda, not on the agenda, that has something they want to talk about? All right. Mr. Lowry. How are you doing, sir?
Very well. How's yourself?
Cold.
Well, there's a lot of that going around. Good evening, all. Thanks for a few moments. I have come, as you can see on the agenda, it says Mayberry. So I've come to talk to you about this year's Mayberry Comes to Scottsburg Festival. Things are really coming together on that, and so I'm here to officially put in my application and ask for permission for the use of the courtyard for June the 22nd and the 23rd. We've got several new things this year, some additional celebrities that are coming. We're planning a family fun day to have some more things for the kids. We've got a petting zoo that I've been talking to, and face painters and bouncy houses and fun stuff like that. So there'll be some more things for kids if folks, bring the families along. Got some new celebrities, some new shows. So anyway, it's really coming together well. And this is our formal request then to, and I'll be going to the city next week so that we can make sure that we have the ability to use the facilities that we'll need to set everything up and make it happen. I know that you guys were familiar with what we did last year, and of course last year being the first year and trying to get it off the ground, we're hoping that we are going to learn from last year and be able to grow it. Frankly, if everybody that's told me, gosh, I wish I'd have made it, I was sick or I was out of town or I didn't know about it, if all those people come, we'll have twice as many people as we had last year.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people said, well, I didn't know about it. Well, if you didn't know about it, you lived in a cave.
That's true. We're gonna do a lot more promotion this year too, hopefully get that word out. Just for your edification, we have, as the festival, reserved the entire Hampton for that weekend. That is our host hotel, is where all of our people are, and all the rooms will be coming through there. So we've got, basically we'll be providing all of that, but we'll have others at other hotels too, that, we'll be getting blocks at. So, I think we're gonna have a nice impact, hopefully that way on the community as well. So we're really excited about it. It's coming together. Hopefully the second year will just be bigger and better, and we'll continue to grow. Very much appreciative of your guys' support and your encouragement, and we hope this is a really good thing for the community. So if you've got any questions, the one thing I don't have on there yet is our insurance policy number. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and buy that until we got approval. So, waiting for you guys to make sure that you run through the process. We'll provide that back. Richard Buchanan is our insurance agent, and so, we'll get that approval with no problem. We'll get that insurance to you.
Well, I think the festival was pretty nice last year. I went to a couple of different things with it. But I heard a lot of people, talk favorably about it. Never heard anybody say anything negative. But I think it's good, brings a lot of people in, and actually I saw a lot of people that I didn't know, so that's gonna tell me that a lot of people from out of town were here.
I was told, and I hope, again, last year was so hectic, and I hope that we're a little better organized and have a little more time. I didn't get the detailed reporting that I wanted to get last year, but I was told through the hotels, we had people here from 12 states that came. So that was a shock to me.
Yes.
I never expected that. I expected a few people from adjoining states. We had people as far away as from Minnesota and from Texas and from Oklahoma. So I hope that part continues to grow as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Randy's made the motion to approve the courthouse use permit for Mayberry Days on June 22nd, 23rd. Greg? Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous. So
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll continue to keep you all posted, and, you know, anything that you have questions about, if you hear something from somebody, you guys know where to find me, but, there'll be a lot of information coming out here very soon, probably before the end of the month, we'll be releasing the schedule and, you know, a lot of those, more of those details. Got some new faces coming, I think everybody's gonna be excited about it, so.
Well, Eric, thank you for bringing this to Scott County.
Well, it's my pleasure, it's really a joy to do it, and I appreciate you guys' support and encouragement very much.
Great job, Rick.
Thank you so much.
What's family entertainment?
It is, and we could use more of that these days, in my opinion.
Hopefully there'll be less painting right before the.
Well, you guys did such a great job of sprucing the courtyard. It looked beautiful. And maybe this year might need a little touch up here and there, but you guys did such a great job of the place. I don't know how many people that I know from Mayberry people that we travel all over the country just made it a point to say, what a beautiful community you guys have and what a nice square. I mean, people were really very complimentary of Scottsburg and Scott County, and so that made me feel good
You had
too.
great weather too.
Yeah, we did. See what you can do. Would you help us with that part this year too? See
We'll
what
put
you-
in for that.
Okay, appreciate that.
We'll submit a permit for that.
Very good, okay, very good. Anything else that you need from me, gentlemen?
No, thank you, Eric.
Thank you all so much.
Appreciate it, thanks, Eric.
I'll get the number to you and then we'll get a copy of that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Connie?
Can I stand?
Well, if you want to.
I'd like to. So, I know these two guys, I know Greg by name, here. But I am the Scott County Soil and Water District Coordinator, and we are having our annual dinner on February 1st, and I'm sending an invitation. Okay, I like to move. It's scheduled for Thursday, February the 1st. It's at the Scottsburg High School. Dinner begins at 6:30 p.m. with an annual meeting to be held. We have our financial report and everything available. We have a guest speaker this year who is Mr. David Coates. He is the director of the Economic Development Division. Also, the public is more than welcome to attend. Tickets are $10. Today was the deadline, but as long as I get the number in by next week, I'm good. But you can call the office or you can email the Scott County SWCD@gmail.com to get reservations, or you can pick tickets up at the door. So if you guys would like to attend, we'd really appreciate it. If you have any questions about what the guys are doing or anything, just try to reach out to me. I'll get the answers, or one of the board members. I do know that since 1999, John Harden is now going to resign. And I hate that, but anyway, so we've got.
I just talked to him today.
Did you? We've got a couple of really good guys that are on the election ballot, because we've got Wendell Sparkman's position available as well. So his would be a 3-year term, and then John Harden's would be his remaining 2-year. So we're hoping to get some younger guys, more, active and new ideas. And then it's also open if there's somebody that wants to be recommended to be put on the ballot as a write-in.
Okay.
Any questions I may be able to answer? Okay.
Nope,
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invite.
You're welcome.
Purdue Extension, it's like,
I don't think they're gonna be here tonight, but we've got a couple of contracts for them. The first one is their annual contractual survey, and the second one is they need a new copier. Theirs died over the Christmas holiday.
kind of curious with, and I know we've talked about this before with, different departments having different contracts with different vendors, and if it'd be cheaper to go with one vendor and for the courthouse and everybody buys stuff through them, I don't.
But I think that
That's what we're gonna do this year. I'm gonna be reaching out to all the vendors and having them bid on all the equipment.
I mean, I know, like, we have a postage meter somewhere in this courthouse, but, I don't know if that's used by as one individual office or if everybody has access to it. So I'd like to get everybody on the same page and not be double dipping someplace else when we can all be doing the same thing at the same place. So you can get with people and say, hey, you know, who you have a contract with and
Yes.
how long that contract's for, I guess, and try to get everybody on the same page, so,
That's our plan.
good deal. So it looks like this is a extension, well, this is actually, I'll start out first with the annual contract with Purdue Services, so. Scott County has an extension contractual service agreement between Purdue University and the government of Scott County. This is for the calendar year of 2024. Whereas the county desires to provide financial support for the county extension services to interest specifically 4-H youth development, leadership, community development, agricultural, natural resources, and health and human services. And this is just a renewal of the same contract we have, and the only really stipulation I think we ever have here is that we have to provide them a space. It says here, contractual services between Purdue University and the government of Scott County provides financial support for county extension services in 4 programs areas: agricultural, natural resources, health and human services, community development, and 4-H youth development. This services include access to services from county educators, campus specialists at Purdue University, and other extensions. In exchange for the payment in the amount of $87,105 from Scott County to Purdue, Purdue Extension will provide extended services through the Scott County Extension, including 2.5 county educators. I don't know how they get a half of one, but these staff will provide local extension services in the following program areas, and I've said those several times. Each educator will have an individual program area focus. Period is from January 1, 2024 to December 31st, 2024. So, anybody have any questions? Okay. Great. I'll entertain a motion to renew the contract with Purdue.
I like that motion.
Randy makes a motion to renew the contract with Purdue for Scott County. Greg? Greg seconds that. I'll make that unanimous, so. As far as the printer contract, it's with M&M, looks like. This is across the street here. Has anybody got any questions on that? Greg?
No, I think it's a good idea though, that we start trying to lump a lot of this together, these vendors and copiers and stuff.
Well, I agree with that, cause, not saying we will get a better deal, but we should get some sort of favoritism for using one company and not searching all over the place, so. I'll entertain a motion to enter into an agreement with M&M Office Products for a copier for 4-H, looks like. Scott County Purdue Extension.
I'll make that motion.
And let me just see if I can read some of this. Looks like, looks like it's for a lease, buyout, I guess, at the end of the lease. It's 60 months at $199.16. And it looks like it includes the printer, a 300 color and 1,000 black per month. Looks like that's the toner, and 6 cents per color and 1 cent per black. So yeah. Randy's made a motion to accept the contract for M&M. Greg? Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous. So. And Andrew, when do you get that done? Speaking of Andrew, come on up.
doing, Andrew?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right, bud.
Alright. These out. Jennifer, do you want one? Andrew?
Yeah, please, we can share.
I'll get it.
I got you. Pass one more down. Alright, I reached out to Vector recently to get a quote for installation and fire monitoring, professional monitoring for this building. Currently dispatch has if you've been in any building or even at houses, there's just a little keypad there that arms and disarms your fire protection. Usually everything on that key panel is just an abbreviation. So if there's a smoke detector going off, or it could be just a trouble code, could be a panic alarm having trouble. Dispatch gets those abbreviations. Sometimes they can be a little confusing, and they've got enough stuff going on over there that I think this would be a really good solution to have a professional call center know. They will get those codes and know immediately what that is. If it is a fire, if it's just something simple like a bad battery, they can respond to dispatch, get a hold of them and say, hey, roll fire, or not, it's just a battery, it's something simple. So, and also Eric and I can be called out too. If it's a trouble code, something's going on, they can call us and we have a heads up.
So is this a new system, or is this something that's onto the system we already have?
We're keeping the current system. This will just be an installation of the equipment to be able to call out to the call center. Dispatch will keep the red, or the little red keypad there, so they kind of do have a heads up. Then they're going to get that call immediately saying, hey, this is serious, it's not serious, this is what's going on. So they can silence it, or they'll also call us and say, hey.
Question is, do you have, go ahead, Ryan.
Is there gonna be a monthly fee with this?
There is a one-time install of $970. I'm budgeted for that. The contract is 3 years. It's a 3-year contract, but the fire system here is up to date and it's not going nowhere for a while. Monthly is $50, $49.85, which I'm budgeted for also, so.
That was my question.
Yeah, I do not need any additional costs for this project. I think just keeping this little bit of extra security there and just know what we're dealing with when that alarm goes off is good.
And it does go off every once in a while.
Yep, just be better safe than sorry.
I'm kind of partial to the building. So.
Yeah, I would hate for something to happen, so.
I've seen a courthouse burning, so
Yeah.
it's not pretty.
I bet not, so.
So, Greg, you got questions?
No.
Comments?
I'll make a motion.
I'll entertain a motion. Randy makes a motion to accept, the Victor security for $970 installed and $49.85 monthly service for fire protection. Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so.
Awesome, thank you guys.
And just to note that he has it in his budget, so it's
Yep.
nothing additional.
If I can get a signature on the last page, first box to the right.
Here?
Yep. But that'll also, alert us if, say, the sprinkler system is losing pressure, anything is going on, Eric's gonna know, we're gonna know, we can be able to react to it quicker, so.
Just need one on there.
Yep, that's it.
When we're gonna be here to install that.
I talked to them today and they are a little out. He said probably a month and a half, so kinda. He said if we can break free, they'll get here, so.
Alright, thank you, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for, kind of conglomerating all the printers and stuff.
Yeah, we are scheduled to do that within the first quarter, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Missing? Did you get a phone call today?
No, I got emails. I got it taken care of though.
Mr. Harden?
Yes, that was not, his piece of property that he got from the courts, that wasn't, that's not one that's on a certified sale.
Okay.
So I sent him an email with a picture and showed him where his was, but the two pieces of B&O Railroad are above, like his is in the middle and those are, one's above and one's below, so hasn't got back with me, but I think that should satisfy him with that.
I knew that one ran past his mother's house.
Yeah. Well, he'd sent me the order from the judge, but like, it had exhibits, but he didn't have the exhibits, so,
Okay.
I think we're good.
As long as you talk, so we're good.
I think we're good. So this is the, annual Board of Finance report that I come to you guys every year in January and give. So I'm just gonna read right from the paper. The total interest earned in the banks for 2023 was $562,216 and a penny. So it's quite a bit more than what it was last year, and that's because West Banco upped our interest in our sweep account, which is our huge account, and they raised the interest, like doubled it, so that had quite a bit. So, and we are still using American Financial Credit Services to collect the delinquent personal property taxes. They mail out letters that people have not paid for the past 5 years. They're a very good company, they're very easy to work with. I think all the people that they owe, or that owes money to them, I haven't heard any complaints. They're really fantastic to work with. That contract can be avoided at any time. So last year they collected $47,379.68 for us. So the grand total since, I think it was August of 2014, has been $333,544.93. So we are still using West Banco, New Washington State Bank, and Stockyards for collection sites for the taxes. Those are still working really well. I think the customers like having different places where they can drop off the taxes too. The 23-24 tax statements will include, again, both the spring and the fall installment. It's going to be mailed out at one time because double postage would be quite expensive. There are no changes from last year, and the statements are to be scheduled to be mailed out the 1st of April. I'd say maybe the second week of April, I would say, I'm hoping. And then the report of the ending balances in each bank as of December 31st is on the next attached sheet. So you want me to read through those and give the numbers and all that? Okay. So Bank One, which is our bank that we do the claims out of, there's always a balance of $250,000 in that one. The sweep account, which sends money back and forth between Bank One and the sweep account. Like if Bank One's starting to get low, they'll sweep money over into it. There's $18,630,034.46. Bank Four, which is our payroll, $336,661.59. Bank Five, which is taxes and the credit cards, $497,397.56. New Washington, which is just a money market account to gather money, is $53,596.90. Stockyards, which is our other tax bank, is $326,854.89. New Washington Bank, which is another tax bank, is $122,008.18, and Old National, which is where the excise from BMV and the boat, is $509,871.20. Okay.
The ARPA money that we got and the opioid money that we got coming into one of these accounts, does they're all interest while we're sitting on it?
I believe it's in the sweep account. I think it's in the large account.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's drawing interest.
Yes, and that's the one where they doubled the interest in that sweep account, so. And larger the number, the more interest we're gonna draw, so it's pretty good. The next paper is the outstanding checks, so, yeah, please be quiet. There's not as many this time, so that's good, and it's only in bank one, which is just the claims bank, there's none in bank four, which is payroll, so, this total is just $2,747.50. And that will be what I give to Mandy, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure, so Mandy will do that.
So again, to clarify.
These are still outdated checks for 2 years.
These are checks that people have received that they never cashed.
Cashed, yes.
So is there a deadline now, or is the deadline's already come and gone?
Well, I mean, I don't know,
I
'cause
know what you're saying. Well, I mean, technically, even the check says on it, I think it's.
2 years.
There's
2
a,
years.
there's an inscription on the check that says you have X amount of days or years to cash, or else it goes away. So,
Yeah,
you know, money's money, and money's important, but I don't see any grand numbers like it was before.
yeah, and that's just because it hadn't been done in a little
Last year
bit.
was the first time somebody's ever brought it to us and said, here's checks that
Yeah, there was a lot,
nobody ever cashed.
yeah, there's a lot.
Center Stone.
It's actually English. English to nothing.
Yeah,
English in the States houses.
I think so.
So we
Or
have a
there's
check
also
for
a
them for
Centerstone out by
$1,800.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
If
that's
that's called
true.
Centerstone, I can't remember.
Yeah,
It might be.
there's a Centerstone Mental Health.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway. So these, you're just giving this as here's what wiped off.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a current checklist of people that haven't cashed checks, or? Is it-
Yeah, every month when I go through the banks and, I balance them, it gives me always an outstanding list. So usually every once in a while, people will go and cash some checks and stuff, so, I mean, there's always gonna be some on there from like the previous month, but they usually cash them within that next month.
Well, I'm saying, like, these look like effective dates of the 2021, is there checks out there for 2022 that people haven't?
There is, but I can only go 2 years back, like as December the 31st of 2021. So like the 2022s, we can't get rid of them until if I come next year in January, so.
Okay.
And you probably notified these people to say, hey,
I do not have to notify them. State statute says I don't have to. I did check, cause I did check with that, cause if I needed to, I would have contacted, but State Board of Accounts and state statute says I don't have to check. They're gonna just be
Personal
voided.
responsibility.
They're just gonna be voided.
gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Guys got anything?
Question?
Nothing? Okay.
Thanks, Missy.
Thank you.
All right. That's interesting. Michelle. You doing?
Hello, Michelle.
Doing good.
I am coming to you guys tonight. We have to re-up our contract with our voting people, our voting microvote. That contract has to be signed. To give a little information on that, we have officially paid off the machines that we have bought. And so we are now, it's just on service basis. We actually own the election machines now. So our contract goes to where we are just doing our annual maintenance agreements, our program updating, and then the services that they provide us through the year. And we pick those services throughout the year. But the annual voting system update and all that is $13,000 that we have to do. And then the day of services, we give those and we pick those out throughout the year. So I gave those, you have, nope, microvote should be, looks like this. I have a copy. So that is the services that we will do.
Here's an extra copy.
Oh, she has them, yeah.
So is this is the agreement? Is that a year-to-year agreement?
So yes, we are now to where it is a year-to-year agreement, so I'll be back every year to do this.
Well, this,
Or no, 2 years.
2 years.
2 years, sorry, yes, 2 years.
I just saw two pop up there.
Yeah, it's 2 years.
So $13,000 per year, for a 2-year contract starting January through December of 2025.
Yep, and then the annual fees that happen that we do every year goes through.
Is that what this is?
Yep.
So for, this says the total to be paid to MV for election services, $24,200 and
$2.
$24,200
And $24,200
okay, is that?
on top of the 13,000 for the maintenance update, program system updates.
Okay, so this is typically what we do every year, or every 2 years anyway, correct?
Yes. In the past years, so, I mean, we're going to a little under 40,000, and in the past years, microvote has been 62,000, 54,000, 66,000, 66,000, 66,000, 66,000. So
We're down.
we are down, and unless we have to purchase new equipment, which I do not see in the near future, it will stay right around, we'll give it a little push 50,000, because services always bump up the prices and stuff, so we'll say 50,000, unless there's new equipment by the state that's required along those lines.
Guys got questions, comments?
This got the, got the Donald Trump seal of approval.
It has the Michelle Shelton Microvote's Amazing approval.
There you go.
Missy will probably agree with me too. Microvote's amazing, so.
Yes, they are, they're great.
Ray, you got any questions?
Probably be a lot cheaper if they just did what they do in Iowa, just write somebody's name down. But no, I'm glad it's cheap.
Well, I'll entertain, do you wanna group these together?
Yep, we can, that'd be great.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the Microvote General Corporation and maintenance agreement for $13,000 per year for 2 years, and then a 2024 Indiana election service fee from Microvote for $24,200. So
I'll make that motion.
Randy's made a motion to accept both contracts, agreements, and service agreements. Greg?
I'll say that.
Greg seconds that. I'll make that unanimous. So this one?
Yep, please. And then I'll get you a signed copy too.
Okay.
That one's on the bottom.
What fund is this for, Michelle?
Microvote, it comes out of multiple funds. Multiple funds.
What else you got?
So the second one that I have in front of you is this Text My Gov. I am coming with, so we wrote the HADA grant, and in the HADA grant, we have $4,000 to do some advertisements for the vote center that we are going to. Some of it is already allocated for, we're gonna put information on tax papers that go out to all of the voters, letting them know that we're at a vote center, trying to advertise. But this is a program that I would like to use that uses smartphones. And what will happen is people will scan a QR code, or if we already have their cell phone number in our SVRS system, which is our voter registration system from the state, it will send out texts And so we can put on there saying, just to let you know, hey, we've now been to a vote center, this is where you vote. It'll also say voter registration deadline is this day. If you haven't registered to vote, please register to vote, or if you need to update your address, anything along those lines. It gives out all kinds of general information. TextMyGov has actually gave us a deal. They have offered us to be what they call a flagship contract. Normally, the cost for your setup is $2,200, and the total cost after setup and then maintenance and all that is around $6,000, but they are offering it us for the next 2 years as a flagship account for $2,200 per year. And so with the HAVA grant, I have it to pay for the first year, and then for the second year, we have election budgets that I'm almost for positive we can go into that, but there also will be a HAVA grant next year, and we can apply for this for the HAVA grant too. But it is for a 2-year contract, and as of right now, I can only cover the very first year, but I'm pretty sure we will be able to cover the $2,200 for the second year too.
My question would be, in this day and age of people buying people's personal information, is this what they're doing, or how are they getting people's names, phone numbers, and addresses?
So they will have to, if they will scan a QR code, or we will, when we advertise the vote center, they can sign up for this, they will sign up for themselves.
So nobody's pulling somebody's information from, or selling somebody's information?
Nope,
Okay.
It's on them to sign
it's,
up.
yes, and we will have it in the.
So you're only getting a text message if you give somebody your personal information?
Yep.
Okay.
And like I said, when people come to the window, my clerks will be advertising it, hey, this is a new thing for voting registration. We will be having things in the newspaper, stuff along those lines, on the Facebook page, of like, hey, if you're interested, sign up for this, yeah. So this will be going out in advertisement, and if people wanna do this, it'll be there for them.
So where's this company from? Have any idea?
You know what? I did
TikTok.
not ask that question. I do not know what state they are out of. I know, they were at the election conference. I did not ask what state they are out of.
Okay, that's fine. So this is kind of like and I'm gonna ask this because you said you had the HAVA grant this year. If we get people to understand to use this, or to know in the first year, hey, we have vote centers, I mean, after the initial first deal, would they know we wouldn't have to use this service again?
It is a 2-year contract, but yes, but I also think it would be beneficial because we could send out, I mean, this will text any kind of information we want. We will actually get to set up what goes out in the text messages. We will get to set up the information that, like I said, we could add voter registration deadlines. We could do, even for candidates. I mean, if candidates want to sign this up, I could put it to where it's giving information to them. We get to set that platform up of what information goes out on these texts. But like I said, I have the money for the very first year. The second year, I will be applying for it in the second year of the HAVA grant. I'll be applying for it again. But I cannot guarantee the HAVA grant the second year, so that's why I'm coming to you guys with this, because the county may have to come up with funding the second year, which is $2,200.
So you can,
Do you know when the notices will go out before?
We set those up, so, I mean, which notices?
Reminding people when,
Oh,
they're supposed to vote.
I will be setting it up if we get this ASAP. And I will start advertising it to where people can sign up for it. We will start advertising this. But then, I mean, if it's the day before, we'll send a week before, 2 days before, hey, today is the day, this is where you can vote. I mean, we can set that up at our discretion of how much we wanna go out.
So are you sending the communications, or are you sending the communications to this Text My Gov and they're sending it?
It is a collaboration between two. We will have a person that is assigned to our account. They will call me, or text me, or email me. We'll work with that. And I'll be like, okay, hey, this is what I need to go out. These are the things that I need. It's a collaboration with
So
them.
who's gonna have all the personal information of this company?
That company will have it, yes. But like I said,
You have to sign up for
you
it.
have to sign up for it.
I get that, but I sign up for insurance too, and sometimes I get my stuff sent to other people.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I just got a notice the other day from another one. You have to know tonight, because I'd like to think about it until
I
next
actually have to turn in the contract tomorrow if we are going to, this was a thing of like, when is the meeting? And I said, it's tomorrow.
'Cause I'm kinda looking through here trying to see, most of the time, someone will say, you know, what kind of protection they have on somebody's personal information, and I'm not seeing that. That's why I'm concerned that we as county government is going to have some sort of, plan or a service, I guess I should say.
Would
And
you,
it's not going to be, I don't see where anything here is saying, hey, we're triple dog dare you to hack us and everything else.
Yeah. would you like me to have the gentleman call you guys? And you guys have conversations with them one-on-one like that?
I'm fine with that, but like I said, I don't see in any of this stuff of them saying, hey, we've done X, Y, Z to protect people's personal information.
Yeah, and I will say that there are several counties that have went to this, but I mean, I absolutely get that.
Went to this or went to them?
That does Text My Gov. There are several counties in Indiana that does Text My Gov, and have had great success with it.
Who
So,
are they, and maybe I'll just reach out to them.
I can get that list. I don't have that list right in front of
Okay.
me, so,
Just
like I said, they
text
were
it.
at the election conference. They presented their stuff to all of the counties there, and this is a vendor that actually got my attention. I'm like, this might be really beneficial for our county, so, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I mean, it sounds like a super idea, but I'm kind of
Okay,
like
yeah,
here.
I will
mean,
have, him call you, and we will see if we can get this extended. As of now, the contract will become void after tomorrow.
that's fine.
So, okay,
The
I
reason
will,
I would be supportive of this was, once we get some more details, and because we are, changing some locations, and I think it would help clear out some confusion. I don't know about after 2 years, I don't know about, extending something like this for a while. I mean, that's why we tried to, Andrew's done a good job trying to clean up our social media, Facebook page, and put information out, so, I think in the beginning, maybe we could help in this may help provide information.
yeah. Okay, I will have him contact you, and then my last is, just to give you a heads up that my contract for my printer and copier in the office is gonna be done March the 12th. So I have to find a new, either re-up with this company. I am not interested in doing that.
Who you,
I would like to go with M&M. He has given me some bids, and Andrew actually got me in contact with them. And so I will be looking into this and presenting this to you guys, but I just want to give you a heads up that our contract with US Bank and my contract is up, so.
Well,
Do I have to have more than one bid, or can I just bring you?
how much is it? I'm sure it's less than 50.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, you don't need, you can just bring one.
yeah, and actually I'm probably thinking, just because I have funds to buy large equipment, I probably would just purchase and not actually lease. So, and go out of that.
Might talk with Andrew for that. so
Yeah.
he-
He's the one who brought me this and got all that to me, so, okay, that's it, that's all I
Alright, thank
needed.
you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Michelle.
Appreciate it. Nick,
Put me at the bottom.
No, you're not at the bottom.
Well, I said you should have.
Kevin?
I'm down for letting them go, if you were okay with it.
All right, go ahead. We're gonna adjust. Denise,
You're welcome.
well, since you delayed the first meeting, we'll let you retain your time.
Thanks.
So my big kind of thing to come in today is to talk about the possibility of adding another position into my office. The paper I just handed you is the reason why. Now that we have Tom Miller on board as part-time and I'm full-time, this shows the September, October, and November and December clients. So in person, for September, we saw 109 clients, October 177, November 140, and December 126. This does not include phone calls, this does not include emails, so this is just in-person contact. The only way that we've been able to do that is because I have a very loving, passionate volunteer that volunteers her time at least 21 hours a week. And there's no position in my office, so I'd like to see about getting you guys' approval to at least create the position. I know I still have to go to council for budgeting it, but that's kind of the big key to this. Dawn right now is my gatekeeper. The way it was before is nobody was at the front desk, so if I had a client in my office, everybody would just walk in. So there was no privacy on a lot of confidential things. So this allows that privacy plus the tracking, giving us an idea on what counties are coming through, because it's not just Scott County, so that I can get on the phone with the other counties and go, what are you doing and why? So it's really streamlining, and she cleans for me too, so bonus on that. She is willing to take a very small salary, anywhere between $11 and $12 an hour at $21 a week, 21 hours a week. So that's kind of what we're looking at, is trying to establish this new kind of job title. This is just a very rough draft of what the expectations would be of her or that position.
So 21 hours, and what'd you say the what?
Between $11 and $12 an hour, which for what she does, she files, she answers phones. Veterans are actually getting phone calls back from my office, which is really amazing. They're getting reminder phone calls so that when veterans do make appointments, because they're being scheduled about a month out at this point, she calls them and reminds them, hey, you have an appointment. So we're not getting no-shows, and we are actually assisting other veterans. So she's really just streamlined the office, and now that I look back, I don't know how I did it without Tom and her at this point. I was barely surviving. So it really is able to really reach out to the veterans in our county and really push to get them in to get services that a lot of them don't even realize they have, which has increased on my my want for veterans and anybody that knows a veteran. Medical care is not the only service for Veterans Affairs that they're authorized. Scott County just had a second suicide for a veteran in 2023. And he was laid to rest last week, thank goodness, by very generous donations and really some veteran service organizations that really did help the family out. So those are the kind of things that we want to stop. And this was yet another veteran I had no visibility on. And that's unacceptable. So the other piece to reaching out is I've got the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs Outreach Coordinator, Joe DeVito. Him and I are meeting up with Dan at WMPI on the 1st of February to put together at least a monthly, if not bi-weekly, or kind of radio content of here's your benefits, here's who you've got to contact, here's what's new in the area, so at least it's a one spot that they can get to kind of see what benefits they have, so that we can reach as many veterans as possible. Because we have the advantage of having the clinic. That clinic sees between 7,000 and 8,000 veterans per month. My name is all over there, so they're going to end up stopping in, and I'm right around the corner, so we are picking up a lot of veterans. So the more we can pick up, the better off we are. That's the reason that I really like it if you guys would approve me to have an office assistant. Obviously, I'll have to go to council for money. I understand, but I got to get y'all's approval first to have the position available.
Thoughts?
I think it's a great idea. Honestly, good luck with the council.
Yes, sir. One fight at a time, one step up the mountain at a time, so.
Very much.
I don't, it's not that I have a problem with it, I just probably need to kind of look at it. I mean, I'm suggesting from my behalf, it's just a table so we can look at this.
Well, we're gonna have a meeting before their meeting next, so.
Okay.
So we'll be able to, have a moment to see where we're at with it. I mean, what are you talking, probably $12,000 or $13,000
Less than, about 13,000 a year, approximately between 12 and 13,000 a year.
chicken scratches, that's what I can say.
Yes, sir.
I'm like Greg, I like to look at it and I like to see, I mean, it's obvious the needs there and quite honestly, in your, previous reporting to us about how much money, you know, the local VA has brought into the county's veterans.
It's, PDX should come out shortly too, and I have a
So, I
feeling it's
mean-
gonna be even better, so.
So it's multiple millions of dollars that have, you know, local veterans have received through our veterans office, so. I mean, don't take this as a no, but I mean, let's just table it until we can absorb what you're asking for and I'm sure it's definitely needed with, I was trying to figure that number too, and it's,
A lot.
you know, it's 20+ people in your office every day, so.
On Mondays, which is our walk-in from 9 to 2, we're averaging at least 25 to 30 people. And that's just kind of getting them in, getting the generalization, and that's not, you know, that's also including
All the
like
footwork that goes by.
a lot of footwork that goes behind it. Tom and I were supposed to be at the State House yesterday, but the weather dictated otherwise, and him and I literally spent all day on the phone and emails. I saw a client to help with medical bills, but we were on the phone from the time that we got there to the time we left.
And plus, you're still getting the, picking them up and taking them to
Yes,
places.
oh, yes, sir.
Still got one
We
driver.
still have one driver, only one driver, but the more that we can get this out, the better off. And then as a public service announcement, 988 is the Veterans Crisis Line. It takes you directly into the veterans world of mental health and crisis line. So all they have to do is pick up the phone and dial 988. And then I'm available 24/7. And please,
Might put that on the website, our government website, we can do that.
yes, sir.
There's several people looking at it now, so.
Absolutely. And then Dan and WMPI is really interested in working with us to get a lot more information out and streamline it with IDVA, so that will be good.
Do have a request,
Yes, sir.
and it's probably gonna be more of you reaching out to a sign company and see if they can make you some sort of sign, because I've had it,
You don't like my original sign from Scott County? It was the perfect price.
0.
It was free,
I
donated
get
back
that.
by a veteran, so,
I get
but
that.
yes.
No, I'm just saying that,
People miss us, especially,
they
yes.
drive past you not
Yes,
seeing.
they do.
And I'm not talking about a huge sign, I'm just talking about something that, well, you know.
Some of them
they
are
will-
finding me, I
they will
promise.
Tell you, oh, that's obvious, but I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say, it. The guy behind you said, they're coming down to his place looking for you.
Yes, a lot of times they will go to the clinic, or they'll end up on my doorstep thinking there's a clinic because we're so close in
Yeah.
proximity, so.
So anyway,
I don't mind it, I just, we
Yeah.
have quite a few visitors
Oh,
today
I'm sure,
asking
yeah.
if that's who we are.
Yeah,
well,
so,
anyway, if you can come
I
up
will
with some
reach out.
sort of sign and then bring it back here and let us approve it or something.
One time or another, a while back ago, we mentioned getting some type of, marble or granite, rock to put along your front of your building. At one time, it sat on your porch area.
corner, yes,
Did we ever,
it fell to the wayside, I apologize. My building looks great though, my veterans love it. We have places to sit now and all kinds of stuff, but the outside of it is just kind of one of those we've been focusing on, taking care of them on the inside and the weather and, but, it is something that I will reapproach and get in there.
I would be interested in,
Okay,
I would really like to have something,
like I'm kind of on.
something to honor our vets.
I
a
agree
little bit. I
completely.
mean, I know we, what we got out here in the courtyard and everything, but
I would love
that's
to have
their
a battlefield
building.
cross up there,
So-
absolutely. Absolutely. Any other
Thank you.
questions?
I think so, appreciate it. Thank you. Kevin? Since Nick's been so generous. Well, he's got a reason.
Here's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
And,
No good deed goes unpunished.
He may adjourn because it's too late before he gets to.
that, so that handout there is just a little update on Bridge 105. The deck was poured within the last 7 or 8 days.
What about look, that looks pretty good.
It does look real good.
I've seen it too.
They were stripping the plywood today off the sides of it, and weather slowed them down for a day or two, but when it breaks again, I think they're gonna start the approaches. They got the reinforcement rods in.
I went out and checked the rebar before they put it in too, they did a good job with that.
Yep, yeah, it's looking good. I think it'll be
Still on.
it's still on, still on target, actually doing real well. Of course, the weather's cooperated all the way up till now, but.
What's wrong now? It's not raining.
I know, right? It was cold out there today. It was cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
So that's kind of breakdown on that. Bridge 28, I got a little presentation with NDOT Tuesday, kind of take it to the next step on trying to get the funding for that, so we'll see how that goes.
Is that virtual?
No, it's actually an annex building. I was actually on Monday and I was sick, so we're scheduled for Tuesday. The only other thing I have is what I showed you last week on the CCNG. So for the 5 structures and the chip seal that I proposed ended up being $1,861,499.50. And this is just committing our match of $465,374.87. We have that in our budget. We budgeted $333,000 in, and then when the additional come open for the year, we'll just use it out of our asphalt line to cover that extra cost. But I just need Mike's signature on it, and I want to submit that tomorrow.
You know, what he's done on. I know we talked about timing and everything with this Bridge 5. Is it still on track money-wise?
Yeah, we're good on money. We don't have any extras or any so far. So. I mean, it took at least the whole 1.5 up. I know we was hoping for 1.3 when we started the project.
I was hoping for 1.3, was.
We're still doing good as far as that goes.
I'll entertain a motion to allow me to sign for the community crossing grants, for 2024.
I like that motion.
Randy makes the motion to allow me to sign for the community crossing funds. Greg? I'll second. Greg seconds that. I'll make that unanimous, so. There you have it.
That's it.
You sat there all that time for that, huh?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. Yeah, take that hat off. Is there anybody else got anything? Come on. Bring the juice. call me after this is over with.
For you guys.
On a separate matter.
Three. First things are financials, there's not a whole lot to go over, there's only been 2 weeks. He's got 2. Give him both of yours.
Oh, I gave it to him. Alright.
Alright, financials, not a whole lot to go over.
Why not?
There's only been 2 weeks.
Looks like we're in the hole already.
We are. We've got 3 deposits left, we brought in 84,000 so far. Training's already brought in $3,000 for the year. And that paramedic you see is a remainder payment from last year, so that program hasn't started yet. We just finished up with our interviews for potential candidates for that program. Myself, Tyler, and Kaylin will be making the decisions as far as who's getting in and who's not, starting next week. And that program slated to start April 9th for those.
So out of the last paramedic program, because I know I talked to a couple of them that's, out of the passed it, how many actually have passed? And
So we finished the class with 12. 9 have tested, 6 passed first time, and 1 passed beyond the first time, but less than the 6 times. So right now we're at like a 70 whatever % first time pass rate with a 80 something % overall pass rate. We're still waiting on a few to test. We had quite a few people do practicals last Saturday. All of our people through our program passed. I think we had 26 people come to that. People were traveling from Missouri, from Kentucky, from Illinois, from Ohio.
because it was a proctor here.
Space is a big thing. Not many places can host those things, so we're fortunate enough that one of the high schools loaned us their building for the weekend. That was thanks to Tyler's connection with that and helping us get that done, and they didn't charge us anything for it, so that was very nice of them. But we were able to use that, and like I said, we had 26 people there. It took all of Friday evening to set up, and we were there from 8 a.m. to, I don't think we left station until after 5 o'clock, just, after dropping all the equipment and stuff off. But it was a busy day, but it was a good day. All of our people passed their practical skills that took it there. So, it's looking good. Just letting you know, this is nothing to act on. This is just a FYI. One of our trucks is now out of service for a high pressure fuel pump. Part delivery unknown. Yes, to answer your question that you're thinking.
It's not one of the two.
Huh?
It's not one of the two that just got back.
No, it's not. Those motors are doing good. It's another one now. High pressure fuel pump is out of it.
What year truck is it?
2019. It is under warranty.
But that's not a part that you'd think fuel pumps would be something somebody had.
You wouldn't think. But it's a diesel truck, so that's the problem. They've got some of the parts kit there, but John Jones has 0% idea on delivery time. Not slated in the foreseeable future. When we took it there, like they would be driving the truck and it would just dive on its nose. It would lose all power, all pickup, all everything. We went and just kind of had it put on the computer at Scott County just to see, where's injectors off, anything like that. Everything was testing fine. So we took it to John Jones and they replaced the fuel filter, they replaced a bunch of stuff in it, and they came back that all the work that they did was for not just trying to roll out as they go, and it turns out that it was failing a pressure test and the high pressure fuel pumps out of it. So
This isn't the one that, it is.
Yep.
It's less rated.
Yep. we tried. But yes,
Well, I mean, the motor,
it's
the
good.
motor's good.
Yeah,
That's, but,
gaskets and O-rings, not so much.
yeah.
But yeah, so they're on a nationwide back order, and we're at their mercy right now. And we can get it back, but it's taken apart right now, and I just don't feel a need to have them put it back together for us to not use it because we can't use it.
Did you ask about a reman pump?
Yeah, we went through all of those options.
Call me tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll see what I can do.
Okay. It's a 2019 Chevrolet 3500 HD. So that's the oddball of our fleet. But the motors.
I don't wanna get free advertising. There's a company out there that
Okay.
they do nothing but fuel pumps.
Okay. I'll get with Austin. Kind of handles my maintenance stuff. I'll get with him just to get the stuff from John Jones, so I know all of what they've done and know what I'm talking about when I get with you. I just know that that's what we have been told by them has been deemed the issue.
We may have to purchase it ourselves and then let John Jones reimburse us for the
Can't be as much as a motor.
No.
Don't say that.
Listen, optimism. Another issue we're having the last 2 weeks, we've lost roughly $1,200 in supplies. Not like physically lost, but lost due to the weather. The trucks that sit outside, we've got heaters in those things. They've got shorelines in them, and they're just not keeping up. So that's unfortunate, but just letting you know that we've had some pilferage supplies from them freezing and all of that. Unfortunate, we've stripped one of the trucks just so there's basic stuff that can't freeze on there, but I can't do that to all of them because if we have to run a 4th truck, we're not going to have 30 minutes to stock the ambulance back with all the supplies that are supposed to be on there. So we've got an extra heater in there, we've got all the slides open, we've got all that stuff trying to keep it warm. We're doing our best with it, but without it being covered or heated and any of that stuff, it's just the heaters aren't keeping up. And we can only put so big of a heater in the outlet inside before you throw a breaker on the inverter, so we're kind of got our hands tied on that.
Could you keep one stocked up, keep a John Jones, if it's ready?
If it's heated there. If it's heated, we would just have to have a way to get in and out of there as we needed. We'd have to go in there every morning to do a truck check on it. That's something we have to do every day. So, I mean, it wouldn't just be as needed, we'd be in and out of there every day and, you know, throughout the day if the time needs to come for it. So I don't,
You have that you can have that capability. I mean, we've got keys building, so you need in to park. Cause we gave that option to Kevin too, sometimes with some of the dump trucks.
yeah, right now,
Pull them in, he can pull them in, but.
we'd have to, as long as there's a shoreline there to plug the truck into, we'll be fine. We just have to have the ability to plug it in all the time.
110?
It's 110, but it's got a weird outlet on it. But we've got those extensions that we can go into a regular outlet to it, it just has to be plugged
Yeah,
in.
electric there, I mean, we run extension cord or whatever, so.
But, we will have to like either keep that key at station or something, that way the crews that are on duty that would need it, you know, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody's got access and I don't have to go let them in.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
it'd have to be a key there for you guys to be able to use
Just one way.
24/7, so.
But if you're okay with that, I might reach out to you guys tomorrow about that then.
Yeah, sure, I mean,
I can get a key made.
We would much appreciate that.
I have one on my key ring, so
Okay.
I think you do too.
Do you know which one it is?
No. I've got 40 keys from the county, and I don't know where any of them go, I just had to
Try it till it works.
Russian roulette until it happens. But that is an option, especially in this kind of weather.
Yeah, I mean, it's just dealing with the elements, and like I said, those space heaters are only gonna keep up so much when it's, I mean, we have them even in our small response vehicles. No, just, that came through. We have them in our small response vehicles, and even in those vehicles, those space heaters aren't keeping it. It keeps it good, but it's not like you get in and it's like, oh, I'm comfortable. It's still chilly.
Speaking of that, and that's what this is here, I, probably 3-4 months ago, I asked Nick to go to a couple of different vendors, contractors or whatever, and ask for an estimate to build a 36 by 30 by 14 with a pole barn type of building, but it's open. You can drive through one side and drive out the other side, and it'd be 3 bays open where we can get our $350,000 ambulances out of the weather. We have 3 bays in the building itself, but we have 5 ambulances, so doesn't quite get everybody out of the weather. So I asked him to go get a quote on just the building, no electric, which we'd have to pay an electrician to come in and drop some lights and some electrical so that they can plug in their shore lines, but.
The electric is there, it'll just have to be moved,
Yeah,
cause it'd be getting rid of those Connex boxes that are out back.
But anyway, the one quote, one of the quotes we had was upwards of 30,000, almost 40,000. This one here from Gossman, and again, this is labor and material. It's $21,700. So I just want to let everybody know that we have been talking about it, and I've asked him to kind of be quiet about it because I didn't want anybody to shout it down before we had an opportunity to present it in a proper way. But in the summertime, those ambulances sit out there with the sun beating down on them, and that's not good on them. And definitely, 10 below 0 wind chill factors is not good on them as well, so.
That's our biggest thing, is we're having to use the one to remote start it to heat it up, because the last time, was it 2 nights ago, we had to use it, the door sills were frozen shut from where it had sleeted and rained and then refroze, so I'm just looking for something to keep it out of the elements. I don't need it heated and all of that stuff. I mean, we'll deal with that further down the line, but if I can get it out of the elements, that would be ideal.
This would, again, get it out. It would, to my thought, it would be a north-south openings, not east-west, because the predominant wind around here is out of the west, so if you're blowing cold air, it's coming from the west, so if you block that, we're not getting all that. But anyway, this is a proposal for that. I'm not acting on tonight, not asking anybody to act on it, asking people to think about it. I'd like to see if we could possibly use opioid money to do that. We're not talking about a concrete floor even, we're talking about gravel floor, get in and get out of the elements, and protect our equipment, so.
But that was, I got it bid last year, and that was just the new one that they came back at. It did go up, I think, from like 18.4 to 21.7, and a couple months that it's been, but yeah, like I said, this wasn't meant to bring that up. I'm just letting you know there's been some pilferage there, and like it's, and then the other trucks there. All right,
what else
on the big stuff. So I know about a week or 2 ago, I said I was looking for a vehicle, and I was opting out of buying one because I couldn't find one reasonably priced. I have it in my budget to do it, but I don't have in my budget what I was looking at. I finally got some dealers to get back to me with some semi-down-to-earth pricing, so I found a couple options, and I was coming to you to see if I can purchase said vehicle to replace the 2024 that I have, or the 2024, the 2014, sorry, the 2014 vehicle that I have. It's in my budget. I don't, I guess it kind of depends on the striker thing too, on how that works or what we're gonna do there. But as far as a vehicle purchase, it is in my budget to purchase. It was slated to do this year because I feel like 10 years on a vehicle is pretty decent life expectancy on it. And I'd just like to start, ambulances we try to rotate every 2 to 3 years. These I'd like to rotate every 7 to 10.
Chase vehicle.
Yes, sir. Yep. And I feel like, because Mine, the one that I'm currently in is a 22, but the other ones I have are a 14 and a 15. So, and the 15 I'm not super concerned about, because that's the one we traded the health department for. That one's only got 36,000 miles on it. I'm not super concerned about that one. The one that, the other one that we have is the 14, and it's got 70 or 80 something thousand, which isn't a whole lot of miles, but again, we have to talk about a lot of idle time on our vehicles too. So it's just something I'm trying to be proactive about. I budgeted in my budget this year. The money is there. So it would just be to swap that out. I would like to keep the other vehicle, but if you choose to rotate it to another department or whatever, that's fine. Just as something to sit out back to when one of our vehicles is getting work done, or we need to send somebody to pick something up or whatever. But if not, I mean, it's paid for, it's there. But if not, I completely understand. Trade-in on it wasn't a whole lot. It was like $4 or $5 grand. I don't feel like it's worth getting rid of a vehicle for $4 grand, but that's just my opinion, and it doesn't count a whole lot, but just let you know the information that I got.
4 or 5 grand for the, which one?
2014 Durango.
Yeah, I think we could probably sell that ourselves.
Sell it, or I mean, like I said, it's paid for.
How many miles is that?
It's between 75 and 80. The engine hours on it are quite heavy though.
All-wheel drive too, right?
It's all-wheel drive, seasonal all-wheel drive. It's that stuff Dodge came out with for like a 2-year period where it like senses the road and it picks it. You can't select it, it just does it itself.
Is it
It's a
pursuit
V6
vehicle? Is it a pursuit vehicle?
This one is that one might be. Don't know. It was bought at John Jones, so there's a very good possibility it is. If it is, it was a detective model because of the wheels that it has on it, which it's a little bit different suspension, but.
Well, they didn't hurt it, that's for sure. I said, the health department didn't hurt it.
This one's not the health department's. This is the one that, no, this is the one that that's been there for ages. I think
That's the original.
I think that's the one that Tyler started out in when he got deputy director ages ago, or Jacob even might have started in that one. That is what that one is. That was Jacob's first vehicle. Then it got passed down to Tyler, and then it's been there ever since. So I mean, EMS bought it, EMS paid for it, EMS did all that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. If we can keep it as even a utility vehicle for us to go pick up our parts and go pick up our supplies and stuff we needed, cool. It's not hurting anything. I mean, even the fuel cost for our vehicles that respond and traveling them daily is not high. I don't see that one being, but that's just me probably being a little selfish, but yeah.
What year is that, Nick?
It's a 14.
It's a 14 grand.
It's a
I'm not
V6.
interested in selling it for $4,000 or $5,000.
I'm not either. I mean, but it's 2014. The vehicle, I've got quotes, I think 7 or 8 quotes that range from the lowest one, and then there's about it's anywhere between 48.9 and 55.6 of the price ranges, but they're all the same vehicle, they just have different options on it. Well, that's just the price of vehicles. Like I said, I got 125 in my budget, 70. This year's more on our truck payment is 71 for our truck payment, just because we didn't pay anything last year, so it's built in there. And then that leaves me 54,000 to play with.
Because it's over the 50,000 threshold, then you do have multiple quotes.
Yes, sir. And I mean, you're aware of this. These type of vehicles, it's not like if you spec them out, you can do that, but you're gonna be waiting until 2025 to get it. This is just either what is available now, which are 0, or what they've already spec'd out that they will receive sometime this year.
So we're getting the government.
Yes, we've got the FIN, well, we've got the government bid assistant, all of that stuff's taken off of there. So I've got the quotes, I've got the money in my 42006 or 42000 line, It's there, I budgeted for it. Yep. So, it's there.
Thoughts? Comments?
I wouldn't be for getting rid of the 14.
Absolutely not. I mean, you're looking at, right now, if you, a transmission from Jasper's $3,000 to $4,000, and that's for a car.
If you guys
Not-
choose to give
not
it
a
to the
truck or
sheriff's
anything
department
else.
for a pool vehicle, I'm fine.
So I'm not gonna.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, whether
I keep
it
it, or
stays with you or it stays in county government, I'm for keeping it.
Yeah.
There's that.
and that's been, I've had two places where like, we're not interested in it, so they didn't even, and the two that did, you know, we sent them the pictures and the mileage and all that stuff, and it was one of those 4,000 to 5,000, depending on us putting our eyes on it. So I mean, it could be lower than that, or it could be a little higher, but I don't, even at $6,000, I don't say we get rid of it. But it being 10 years old, I also get it.
Well, I like that you budgeted for a vehicle. A lot of people come in here and say, I need a vehicle, and they budget for it. So I guess
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna entertain a motion to allow you to buy the vehicle that you budgeted for, as long as you have done the
Here are all the bids, if you'd like to look
bids
through
and
them. This one is 49,572. This one is 49,557. This one is 50,850. This one is 53,837.
You're looking at trucks, right?
This is a SUV, it's a Tahoe. Everybody I talked to about the Durangos, most of them are allocated delivery and they stop making them next year, and I don't really wanna. So, this is a Tahoe, I looked at pickup trucks, but they're about the same price, and honestly, for all the equipment we carry, I don't think a pickup truck is feasible. So, that's,
So you're leaning toward the Tahoe.
yeah, I mean, it's that or Durango. Durangos, we don't know an ETA on, or who's getting allocated what.
who's that from?
That one,
There's no name on it.
no, there's not. Who was this one from? Where's my phone? I think it was Bachman. No, this is Coyle. This is Coyle. They're both from Coyle, yeah. Both of these are Coyle. They're just two different vehicles. One is spec'd out one way, one was spec'd out another. That's why one's $40 difference than the other one. And then
So do we do our local,
John Jones, had a High Country that was $80,000. Didn't figure you'd wanna dabble in that. I mean, if we do, I'll take the sunroof. But these are the ones that had pursuit vehicles, or SSVs and PPVs allocated.
that's good.
That's why, one of them's from North Vernon. We did cross over because initially Coyle didn't know if they could get one, so the only quote that we had was for North Country in North Vernon, so that's why we went across the bridge. Then they finally got back to us. There's a place out of Jasper that has one, and there's a place in Georgia that has one on the lot, but I really don't want to drive to Georgia to get it.
So which one are you actually leaning towards?
So these are from, about a week and a half ago now. I would like to say, give me a limit to the highest dollar one, and I'll go with the lowest one that's available, because, since I started this, two of them, granted they were not the cheapest ones, have sold. So I don't know what's available right now, just, today. Some of these orders have to be turned in, some of them had to be turned in last week, so I didn't bring any of those because it wasn't gonna matter. And then here's the two Bachman ones, but these are both 53 and 55, I think. I brought everything. You good?
So,
And the money for upfit is also in my budget too, just as peace of mind. Just for radios and lights and all that stuff. That should be in the line item above it.
So I guess the bottom line here is, you know, is it Country that's got the better deal, or is it
Coil's got the better deal
Cole's got the better deal?
by about $500 or $900.
So are you saying that it's 49 something 50 with change?
49,557 and 49,972, I think, are the two from Coil.
How much did you budget?
125 minus the, we'll call it 72, that leaves me 53. Correct? Okay. So I've up to 53 to play with for a vehicle. So if you would appropriate me at least up to the 50,850, that would allow me those 3 vehicles, or you, I think it would cover one of these 2, but, yeah.
What's your guys' thoughts?
Thank you.
I'm fine with it. I mean, he's budgeted for it, he's picked out the right brand.
I don't know about that. And just, like I said, we did, the Durangos are at like 48, even on the website, they're like 48 and change. The Ford Interceptors, the FPIUs are like 52 to 58, so I was not that bad. Or you can put me on.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna echo what Randy said. I appreciate you thought ahead and put it in your budget, and the council's already went through your budget. I understand that you have, vehicle purchases that you wanna make. And so you've done it the right way. I mean, so it's really not for us to come in here and say, no, we don't think so, because you did all your prep work, you did all the other part. You put your money out there and probably took some money away from some other projects you could have had, but you did it the right way, so.
And it's not coming out of the taxpayers' money. I mean, it's.
What?
You know, it's something that's gonna have to be replaced.
And I
I
mean,
mean,
and
might
just
as well buy it now.
being fully transparent with you, do I need this vehicle replaced now? No. But again, this is one of those things that we won't take delivery till mid to third quarter this year. And vehicle prices are not coming down. I've got the money budgeted. That's just why I'm doing it now. Is there anything wrong with that vehicle? It's got some hiccups here and there, but we make do. But
You ever
it's just,
think about a smart car or something, you know?
yep.
Yaris.
Get you a
You
smart,
got a Prius?
Better on
get you a
gas.
smart
I
car.
think it was in a movie. The other guys, they had a Prius responsibility.
That's right.
Pretty cool.
Get you a smart car with a luggage rack.
Yeah.
I will say a lot of these companies are trying to push EV, and if we make it there, we're
I'm not
broke,
doing that.
because those things are 6 figures for a vehicle.
I get that, and quite honestly,
I'll run out of juice.
there's a bunch of them sitting at the charging stations because they had to push them there.
Well, the other day we had to pick one up along the interstate and drive it 80 miles to the closest place to charge it. In
that the
a
one?
diesel wrecker.
Yeah, and if you think I'm gonna charge my vehicle at home, somebody's paying for my electric bill.
Isn't that the one that you had to leave on the wrecker because you couldn't roll it off the
Yeah.
wrecker, and they had to charge it on the wrecker to get it off of it?
That's gonna be new.
It was
We
quite
actually
the
have
hefty
four.
little
We're gonna get them set up. so.
wrecker bill.
I'm just saying,
Actually, we
You
did
think
that.
50K is a lot, wait till they go
In the
EV.
spring, we'll try to break ground.
I mean,
I'm sure they got their place,
my whole
You
thing,
know, they're making.
metropolitan cities,
where you have
You know,
charging stations.
where you have charging stations, or you don't drive a great distance, but I've had friends of mine that bought them and took off to Florida or took off west, and it was a nightmare. And
You have
it's
to
pretty-
plan your trip around the station.
Well, you have to plan your trip around what Tesla tells you, because they have a map that tells you, stay on this road and you'll have plenty of charging stations. But if you wanna go off the road, then you're on your own. So,
Now, this is a sensitive subject for you, I mean, because you're on the fire department, but they're saying now that we have to build a concrete
Oh, yeah.
wall around them
Mhm.
when there's been a
At the-
crash, because I guess when you go
They
to
can
put them
discharge
out,
and explode.
you have to blow the water up underneath the vehicle,
yeah,
or you won't put it out.
actually, you gotta actually bury them in the water.
Yeah,
And then after that, 2 days later, they could
Still
reignite.
discharged.
So there's no fun thing. I went to a class on a weekend for, you know, electric cars and stuff, and you see some, as firemen, you see all sorts of stuff coming across about, oh, this department put out a fire, took 4 departments, 7,000 gallons of water to put the car out. And actually with all the hurricane that went through Florida, they found out that once a electric car is submerged in water, you might as well trash it and take it out in the ocean because it's gonna catch on fire. And now insurance companies aren't insuring people that have electric cars because it's sitting in their garage.
And just for peace of mind, all these bids are bid assistant, adjustments are all the same. I just thought of that, but from Coyle and Bachman and Country, the discount's the same on all of them, so I assume it's the government ones.
If you wanna buy an EV car, Hertz and Rimmer were selling all of them.
Yeah. And that's what I was getting to, cause, you know, it's like the government started really pushing these down out on everyone, and the technology's not there yet. I mean, it's just not. And I know I've sat and listened to presentations where, like, at Purdue, where, you know, there's a handful of big universities around the nation that are working to come up with technology to even put segments of charging along in the interstate. So you could actually be driving through and have a path and be in
A bumper car.
So
now hydrogen's coming on.
that, I mean, that's being looked at, and there's a lot of technology, but it's just
And
not,
that's-
it's not developed yet. It's not there, so.
The hydrogen I can get behind.
well,
I can get behind hydrogen.
my whole thing, and I'm not an engineer or anything, but if you got a battery sitting there and it's not charging, but the wheels are turning, why aren't you generating electricity from your wheels to charge the battery?
And then you don't have to pay for charging stations.
That's exactly right.
There is, but there's nothing doing.
Like I said, there's a lot of technology being looked at, it's just not developed yet, so.
Years and years ago, when parents tried to keep their kids off watching TV because they were getting, little obese, one of the engineers hooked a treadmill bike or a bicycle up to a generator that fed the TV, and if he wants to watch TV, he's gonna pedal the bike. So,
Guess I'm doodling.
yeah, anyway, go on, we're gonna be here all night for
Is
your
that a yes?
wish
Is
list.
that a yes or?
Oh,
I'll make a motion to allow you to purchase the
well,
truck.
you
You
got
have to take it to
sideways.
council, you know.
Yeah.
Do I have to take it to them?
It's
Since
already
it's budgeted?
appropriated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
already appropriated, so.
Oh,
It's just
wow.
getting-
Randy made a motion
yeah,
to
Wayne.
allow the EMS to purchase a vehicle, 2024 vehicle for their service. That's already approved, budgeted, and allocated, so. Greg seconds that, I'll make it unanimous, so you got your big purchase, so
That's the little one.
that's what I said.
I don't know what to talk about first here.
Go Striker,
Okay. Strike payment. I
Striker
talked,
payment.
brought it to you 2 weeks ago. Have you thought about it?
We had conversation with our attorney and reached out to Frost Todd Brown, because they're the experts in the area, ARPA money. And, they said that we could do that because we're under the $10,000 threshold of money that we received. Anybody over 10 million. Anybody over $10 million, they fall under different guidelines than people that were appropriated, you know, ARPA money under that. He said that we can, utilize that money, with you taking salaries, using salaries to pay your striker fund.
Good.
We will pay in a resolution to, ARPA money for your salaries.
Okay.
With that, he's asking you to reach out to the county's council's attorney and.
Heather?
And yes, and make sure she starts the preparation.
For their meeting?
The advertisement.
Okay.
so that when you go to their meeting, it will be advertised already, so.
Are we doing for total salary amount or just for the striker bill amount? Because that's what I need to know,
He said.
because it's gonna be, I'm gonna have to figure out how to break that up on my end. If, I'm just saying it from this perspective. If I don't do it by line item, for full line item, it's gonna be a nightmare for me to do payroll on where to take money out of. Because if we split, like if I only take a third of her payroll out, I don't know where we're stopping and where we're starting that threshold to break over. 161 and change,
It's.
well, 155.
No, it's
161.
fund for the whole, for the.
Okay, 161, I have the bill on the back page, I remember, Kaylin got that for me. 161, 63, and 86
But
cents.
he's working on getting that.
I thought that was already done once.
He is, but he's going back to him, but he for this particular thing, he wants it advertised for the whole thing.
Full amount, okay.
We don't have to use the full amount, but he
Up to.
wants it advertised for the full amount.
Okay.
He's
Dealing
talking
with
with, he's dealing with Stryker to get that taken off.
Okay.
I would be on the page just from a budget standpoint of moving 11,117, 11,118, 11,133.
Those three?
Those three. Now, it's more than what you have, but from a managing your accounts standpoint, it's gonna make it a lot easier. It's about $20,000 more than your striker.
Well, I'm sure he'll find a place to buy it.
That brings me to my next point.
There's always devil in the details.
Do you wanna vote on that so I can go to council?
Yes, I'll entertain a motion. Wait a minute, first of all, you guys in agreement with that? Not, what, comments?
I mean, you know how I felt about ARPA money and wanting to make sure that it helps the most, of the citizens of Scott County that it can, but under this circumstance with what this is, yes, I'm gonna agree to get rid of it.
And I will say this, people don't understand what we're spending this money for. 3 or 4 years ago, we went in debt about $750,000, because we didn't receive a grant, but we received the equipment. So we're paying out of it.
Further than 4 years.
It's 4,
No, it's 4.
2020.
It was before and I've been in my 3rd year, so yeah,
It's
it's right
2020.
before I came in.
But it's, we're paying on a debt that we should have never had. So anyway,
Not mine.
this is,
I mean, it is not.
this is the last payment to get out of that, so, and if we have to take it out of ARPA to do it, I mean, that's my thing to do it, get it over, get a clean slate, move on, whatever. So Greg, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Let's get this thing off of us. And so,
Well,
Last year, we split it to where I think part of it came out of something, the other 80,000 came out of my budget, and I think the year before, no, that was the year before, I paid for it. So I mean, we've been doing our best, but I've been pretty clear about the timeline and the money we're making, and we're ahead of schedule, but again, we can't predict what the future is gonna be, and I'd just like to stay on that schedule. If I have to take it out of my budget, so be it, but I'd like to stay on schedule.
well, the
For 1 year.
ambulances, the equipment that was bought or that we received from Stryker has saved lives. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say that up front. I mean, would we have bought like we bought? Probably not. I mean,
It was needed equipment, it was just
But-
the amount of,
but
Well, we sent a lot of it back.
we sent a lot of it back, yeah.
Yeah.
But what we have, it has saved people's lives, so I will say that, but I didn't like how it happened, so. But anyway, I'll entertain a motion to take the money for 3 wages or salaries out of EMS, the 3 salary positions. And
so those 11, 17, 11, 18, and what?
133.
so is there do you have an exact calculation of that number?
I can get it
It's
for you very
205
quickly.
or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'd like to say exactly what it is. We'll get a resolution before our next meeting, or at our next meeting but we need to advertise for the appropriation.
And then I'll go to council for them to vote on it.
208, 325,
208,
208, 325.
okay. So, I'll entertain a motion to approve $208,325 out of ARPA to be given to, Scott County EMS to pay for 3 salaries.
I'll make that motion.
Randy reluctantly makes a motion, and I do too, but I'm glad this is the last payment, so.
Same.
Greg, I'll say, Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. About made me sick when, that all came down, and, cause I was asking the question every time someone was sitting in front of me, do you know how grants are working, and do you have the money? And it's always yes, yes, and yes, so, but anyway, let's move on.
Last thing that I'm here for, you and I spoke briefly. So for the last, I don't know exact time frame, I'd say year, give or take a few months in either direction. We've had issues with our radio, so last year, again, give or take, I purchased 6 800 megahertz radios. I know they were here working on it today. I don't know if you talked to Will. They're hoping it's a programming issue. If not, they're gonna come with a different repeater, I think.
Bring a repeater with them tomorrow.
To see if that fixes it, but either way, right now, I don't have enough radios for like both people on a truck, just one person has one. I'm not real fond of that, and the reason I didn't buy a bunch then was I was hoping there would be some solution. But now, a lot of the hospitals, like U of L, and I know the northern ones, we use it to contact, locally we use iHearn, which is on VHF. A lot of the stuff down south through bigger hospitals we used the 800 to call report in on, as well as the helicopter, so we can't get rid of 800, we still have to have it, but does it need to be our primary? No. Anyways, I don't have enough radios. I've got some money in my budget to buy a few, but I was coming here to ask to either, sounds like it's gonna be a no, which is fine, either ARPA or something for some radios. I'm asking for 9 of them. That'll get me, plus the ones that I can afford will get me what I need to the dot. These would be, the quote that's in here that you see on the paper is for dual band radios. So if we do get these and we do transition off of 800 being our primary, they'll still work for what we need them to work for communication elsewhere. So it's not a singular radio to where, all right, like this is VHF only. If we go to 800, that radio no longer works. This will work on VHF and 800 in one radio. So we don't have to carry around 2 radios, and it'll work on both regardless of what system we go to. It also works on UHF as well. So regardless of what radio system we would go to now or in the future, it's going to work. So it's not to a particular frequency, it does all of the frequencies. And you can talk on the same radio amongst those frequencies. So, like I said, I've got 6 people per truck, then your admin people and all of that, and then we have on-call that we have to have radios for. So those 9 plus the ones that I have, plus the RT stuff, I need about 14 more radios, plus the ones that I have to get me where I need to be. And like I said, I didn't want to spend money back then not knowing what the future held, but either way, future's kind of transitioning and I'll need them regardless, so that's just kind of where I'm at. I do have quotes for that stuff too. A lot of the companies are gonna quote singular, like there's only, Kenwood does dual band, but they don't have it pushed out for the next edge stuff that we use yet, so that's kind of moot right now, it couldn't do both. Harris, I didn't even bring the quote because it was 6 figures, that's a moot point. And then Motorola is the quotes that I've got that are functioning and weren't completely astronomical in price. So that's where I'm at. If not, I'm gonna have to ask the council for an appropriation because I didn't budget for having to spend that much money. And it's a shortcoming on my part, it's my fault, but I was also balancing with the revenue I was gonna bring in, plus I knew what revenue was going out this year. I didn't have anywhere to build in an extra $90,000 to say, hey, this. So that's the one thing that I did cut when I was doing my budget proposals. So that's just where I'm at.
So but you're wanting to use ARPA funds for this?
That's just what I came here. I mean, we can use
You're gonna have,
cookie cutter funds. I mean, I don't really care. I know I talked to a couple people on a couple other boards, but I don't, you know, I'm not big on asking for handouts. I try to do everything myself, but this is one thing that, with last year really wasn't the time with the whole radio discussion going on. There wasn't really the time to approach it. And I feel like now that this technology's here and other people are catching up, I will say that at least it's dual purpose. It's not a dedicated radio for one thing. And this is what a lot of the companies are gonna end up going to. It's just where it's an all-in-one unit, an all-inclusive unit. So, I mean, that is a benefit that you're not linked to one thing, but they are expensive. There's no way around it. It is what it is. And if not, I completely understand, but this is an ask. While I was here, I can cover some of them if the county would be willing to cover the other part of them. But if not, I might do and figure it out like I usually do. But like I said, I don't feel like I'm owed anything by any means. I just,
so Nick, this quote, this is for one,
that's for one, yes.
and you need a total of
9.
You and I talked this afternoon and
We did.
I'm gonna.
We have a difference of opinion.
Well, I definitely have a different opinion, and I'm gonna take my commissioner hat off and put my fireman hat on, because, and I've had this argument with the sheriff, and had the argument with the council, and everybody else. And as I told you this afternoon, if you go to 800s, and I know you've been around those because there's been a glitch at 911, and I'm, as a commissioner, I'm gonna apologize that has not been fixed, rectified, or whatever. And the reason being is that, you know, again, it was a management issue that we had going on that, with the, you know, suspension and some other stuff. But with that, the argument I've always had with, and this is, I lived through 9/11 and watched people not being able to communicate with other people, and if we don't all stay on the same radio system, we're not gonna be able to talk to each other.
And I told you, like I said, I completely agree with that. And that's why the initial quotes that I had were only 800, and they were cheaper than this. This is the ones that, whether, like I told you, I don't care if we use a soup can, VHF, UHF, 800, we can go to CBs, so I don't have to be as politically correct on the radio. I don't have to use the FCC. I don't care what we use, as long as it works all the time.
I get that,
And that's why I went back, I talked to Motorola and I said, hey, these quotes that I have that are singular band only, because they are cheaper, because they're only one piece of, they're not gonna work. Quote me something that Whether we stay on 800, it works, and I still have a VHF backup, or we go to VHF and I still have an 800 backup. That's the one thing that I will say that after you and I talked, I did go back and do, because at first, yes, I only quoted 800, and that was because of price. The more, you know, you can pay anywhere from $5,000 to 18 grand for a radio. I mean, it all depends. And I was just trying to do it the cheapest way, because my initial quote was like, I think 60,000. And that's why I will say this one is more. But it regardless of where we go, UHF, VHF, 800, these will work.
I get that.
So that's the one benefit.
But as a commissioner, and as a fireman as well, I look at these guys here, and there's two of them in the audience out here, but I look at those two guys and know that, they have pretty good coverage where they go, and unless they get outside, go to Lexington or someplace else from somebody else. Lexington, Johnson Township, it's hit and miss. Sometimes they have great reception, sometimes they have no reception. But also listen to, I carry two radios, one here and I got another one in the car, but, and it's an 800. And there's times when I hear someone, and I want to say, someone on 800 that can't get out anyway. So, and it doesn't matter if it's a clear day or a rainy day or whatever, sometimes you're in an area in Scott County that you can't not get out. But again, where I'm going to, I'll let you talk. Where I'm going at is that, just like the other day, I was at a run, and I actually called you, hey, is there an ambulance coming? Mm-hmm. Because I didn't have my 800 with me, I had my low band radio, and you said, yes, they should be there anytime. Well, I don't hear them. I don't hear the ambulance running to where we're at. I can't communicate with them, you know, so they're out there just, you know, we have zero communication, and I think we work, and I say we as firemen work closer with EMS than any police agency does. But if we can't hear you, we're not working with you. And if you can't hear us, you're not working with us either. So, I'm not saying no. What I'm saying is, I promised you that I was going to find out what was wrong with the system. And we'll know more tomorrow, I guess, but I'd like to table this until our next meeting.
That's fine.
We will have a meeting before the council meets.
Yep.
And as you said today, it doesn't matter, if you bought them tomorrow, they wouldn't be here for 9 months, so.
Yeah, these have a 4 to 6 month lead time. Kenwood's got over 12. Harris I didn't even get because of the price. I said no. But yeah, we don't need to make a decision today. You're correct. And the issue, and I agree, the lack of communication and the ability of communication is there. That's why I have one crew member that carries an 800. I got one that carries a VHF. So we can still communicate, but you're right. Where we don't primarily communicate on VHF, if you're scanning, you don't hear when we go en route, on scene, this or that. And I 100% agree with that. The issue that I have, and I took a video today when they were testing our radio system, it's not that we get this communication or we don't, it's we get nothing on ours. And even Michael came to the station, Mr. Dyer came to the station today, and it sounds like
I guess I'm gonna ask you a question, because I got the statement made to me.
Mm-hmm.
Who programmed your radios?
Dyer.
The new ones?
The 800s?
Or the last low bands you had?
I didn't buy those, so I don't know. I would assume ECS. No one's touched them since.
Because what he's saying is
it's an encryption issue.
He thinks it's an encryption issue.
No one's touched them, so if it is, it's.
Well, I mean, maybe something happened, I don't know, but he's saying it's.
He took one of my 5200s and one of my 200s, like the older ones.
He feels like it's a
encryption key issue.
Off a number or two, and it will make that problem. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not a tech guy, so I don't have a clue. But my concern is, you know, as a county executive board, that we present to our county fire departments, to police departments, to everybody else that says, can everybody communicate together if something happens? We have a tornado, or we have a massive fire, we have whatever, we have a plane crash. I mean, UPS, this is their traffic pattern is over Scott County. I mean, when those planes go down, you know, how's anybody gonna talk to each other? I mean, and I know there was a training exercise a year or so ago, and, within 30 seconds of that training exercise starting, three departments understood they couldn't talk to each other. And it was a chaotic whatever after that. But,
Yeah, my concern is not other counties, it's our county first as far as communication, and, you know,
I get
luckily, our truck radios are all dual band, so we can talk on 800 and VHF. Like I said, we still have, whether we stay on VHF, I have to buy more radios.
Yeah.
Or we stay on we stay on 800, I have to buy more radios, I'm still buying more radios. And the fact that even a normal operation for us, I still have to use 800, I still have to use VHF. I don't have the ability to communicate with U of L on 800, or on VHF, it's not there, they don't use it.
but I disagree with you that you have to have both. So you can carry you could have a dual band radio to talk to U of L or whoever.
Yeah, each truck would.
But you don't have to have,
I don't have to,
you don't have to have an 800 to talk to a helicopter. And, cause they talk to everybody, all they ask is, what channel are you gonna be on? What radio are you gonna be on? They'll talk to anybody. I've had that meeting with them too many times to.
That is changing, but as of right now, you are correct, but that will be changing, I think by July 1st this year.
But anyway.
It's not
we'll
here
just
nor there.
table it
That's
until
fine.
next
The quote is in your packet there if you wanna overlook it. Like I said, I can,
Overlook it, you mean look at it?
yeah.
I
look
can
over it.
overlook it, just.
You are in, no, it's in there for your viewing pleasure, but yeah.
You think we ought to go ahead and get that total and then get it advertised, so if
It's
the
80,
commissioners make the decision, then we're ready
87,
for
7,
the council.
17, 60.
Well, while we're on this subject. While we're on this subject.
Yep.
And this happened last time with the sheriff's department and everything else. I've always wanted everybody to be on the same radio. Never wanted anybody, you know. And I think that we probably need to, again, have a meeting with the Scottsburg Chief of Police, Austin Chief of Police, and each chief of fire departments. And just have, you know, open up that line of communication and sit down and have a logical talk about what the needs are and everybody's budget and what people can actually afford and what we can really do before I want to go out and purchase any radios. Because I want to know which, and I understand that radio will do both. But
There's more.
It may not have to.
There's
See,
more.
that's-
There's more VHF and 800 radios out there, and I mean, I don't care. I'm not an 800 fanboy. I'm not a VHF fanboy. I'm not a UHF fanboy. I don't
Right,
care.
you just want to have to be able to talk.
I will be buying some radios, and I'll probably be buying these with my budget, just because I need something to point like now. Like I don't now, but I need to get at least 4 more radios in my building for just my truck crews, not admin, not on call, not my truck crews. I need that.
Well, if you're buying it with your budget, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and I agree. And I was
We
just trying
talked
to
about ARPA money.
no, and I was just trying to do it all at once because it's a better price. That's all it is. You know, the more you buy, the more you save.
Yeah.
But with that, you know, you're saying, oh, if you got it in your budget, he can spend it. Well, you know,
Well, I mean,
he's not an
that's a
elected
different
official,
conversation, I'm
yeah,
saying,
but
that's
I mean-
not right. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying,
yeah.
you know, I'm more in line with allowing that and being fine with that. But if we're gonna have the conversation about using ARPA money to purchase radios, then I wanna be in line with the fire department, the sheriff,
I agree. I mean,
the
I'm
city
sure the
police.
reason that Wayne's bought some 800s is because of us. I don't
Yeah.
know that, but I would just go out on a limb and say, I assume that it is. It's sorry that it's there, but this right here is the radio communication that I've got for the last year. There might be some background noise. If there's anything expletive, I apologize in advance. That is my radio communication on VHF and has been like that for a year.
It's good.
I mean, it's just,
The point of it is that the Board of Commissioners put in for the Ready To Fund, $1.3 million, hopefully, to redo all the radio system at 911 Center. With that, we'll have dual capabilities with an antenna on every, 3 of the water towers in Scott County that will be a 800 and a low band, capability. But again, the issue before we start having the ambulance service or continue to have the ambulance service go down a path that's going farther away from the fire departments than coming together with the fire departments is, to me, not working. I mean, and yes, there are departments that can afford to go buy 800 radios. There are departments that can't afford to go buy 800 radios. That was the same argument I had with the sheriff when he pulled it. When he came in and said, I'm going to 800s. Well, nobody can hear him either. So I don't know what,
I'm not buying them tomorrow.
I know that, but I'm just saying that.
And if Michael fixes it
Give
tomorrow, that
us
solves
an
a lot of problems.
opportunity to
100%.
fix it, and if the police departments wanna be on 800s, and, and I know Scottsburg actually runs both, but I think the fire department's gonna be left out, and what's gonna get, and I don't mean that left out financially, I'm saying left out because somebody's gonna get hurt, and nobody's gonna know it. One of you guys may be upside down someplace, we're not gonna know it till somebody calls 911 and sets our tones off, but,
I agree. I'm not
just
trying to make
the
this harder.
communication,
I know that,
the communication in this county needs to stay where everybody can hear everybody, and everybody can be able to communicate together, because, I hate the day that something would happen, but also, hence the Henryville tornado, first thing that went down was 800 radios and cell towers. So the only people who had radios was on low band. So, and technology's moving away from 800 towers to cellular towers, and I don't know what that's gonna create down the road, because if that cell tower goes down because of a storm or because of a, tornado or whatever, I guess send up smoke signals and tell everybody where you're at, because.
CD radios, I'm here for it.
And we got into this argument with the sheriff.
I'm not trying to get in an argument.
And I know,
I'm
no,
not,
I'm not
wait a
either.
minute.
I'm
I know that.
and I'm not
And
trying to
here's
say
my
that I
thing.
wanna be on 800 or I wanna be, I
Again,
don't care.
I don't care to move on radios, but I want everybody to move together. That's my only beat. I want everybody to be able to talk and afford to do,
Granted, and I've said it in the meeting.
Scott County needs to move together.
I said it in the meeting
Every
with the panel that was up here. 800s are the best radio out there, best system out there, but everybody can't afford that.
Don't disagree.
And we don't have that money, and we didn't have that money. I mean, and as the lady from the 800 system says, we're not building any more towers, because they're going away from that, going to cell towers, and technology's going there. I mean, and they're gonna shove us that way.
And I will say, every radio quote that I've got that's new has that cell capability in it. I mean, I think you're right that that's going to be,
Well,
next 3 to 5 years, it's probably what it's
the
gonna be.
big players are AT&T, Verizon, and
T-Mobile and all that,
T-Mobile,
yeah.
so they're gonna shove everybody that way. So, anyway.
just at least consider the option there is all I'm asking. Like I said, I don't care what one we end up on as far as primary, I just want it to work.
Well, I think,
And hopefully tomorrow Michael has some answers. I know I talked to Will today, I talked to Michael today. I haven't heard from Will since, you know, we initially talked this morning, but, Michael stopped by, he picked up a 5200, one of the, well, something like that one, and then the old NX. He's gonna compare encryption codes, but even on my two radios that I had, his radio that he bought, the video is what it was, and he said hopefully it's an encryption. If not, he's gonna bring down another, I think, repeater to replace.
well, he raised the antenna over there 20 feet.
Yeah, he said he swapped 2 points out. It didn't.
So, but he said it was,
The
before he
fourth-
moved, it was good. He moved it 20 feet higher, and he said it's better than it was, so, but he still thinks it's, you know, the original was encryption, the second was, he's bringing a repeater with him, and if it's not one, it's the other, so we'll see. So,
If it's not either of those, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you, sir.
Nope,
Thank you.
appreciate you. I don't know how you do it.
She doesn't have to.
Good point. Area plan, training director. Director of training.
places to be.
I could have stood up and walked over here, Nick, and then made you wait. I was nice.
I offered.
She's changed her hat too.
I went ahead and, you know, I was told to keep track of the hours that I am working currently through February 15th. I did that today, and I have that paperwork ready to hand in. I will talk to Trina tomorrow and see if she wants to keep it or if she wants me to keep it. Doesn't matter to me. And I understand that since we have to create a part-time position down there in order to pay me, it's gonna take a little while. That's fine with me. I'm not really here. No, I'm sorry. Sometimes I feel like I'm not really here. But, the training is very involved, and, Michelle is doing an excellent job. She's catching on. And I told her, I said, this office is yours. You rearrange it the way you want. Well, she's right-handed, I'm left-handed, so we're driving each other crazy. But aside from that, you know, she's trying to work out a system where she will be able to just walk over to a drawer and grab whatever it is and hand it to somebody. And, you know, that's fine. We'll move some furniture around so she can do that. It's not going to require any more equipment or any great purchases, except she is going to a tape recorder because she trusts a tape recorder. I was trained never to trust a tape recorder. I write.
Cause it's a fact, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a fact. But if she feels better that way, that's fine. That's what she's used in the past with her other jobs. And so we're looking at those and trying to find out if we can obtain one that can make sure it's got enough power to catch everything during the meetings, because sometimes meetings get disorganized.
Off topic.
I beg your pardon?
Off topic.
Oh, no, never. So anyway, we're handling everything well. My end date is February 15th. I will be undergoing an infusion treatment next week, and that's just a precaution according to my medical history, and they feel like that's the best thing to do, so that's what we're gonna go do. And they've told me, you know, oh, you'll probably be back at work next day, and I said, great.
They told you that before too.
Yeah, they told me. Oh, yeah, they told me that was an outpatient thing, and I was in the hospital for 5 days. Anyway, so things seem like they're going along on a good path right now. Like I say, she's absorbing a lot over a short period of time. I don't want to drive her crazy, but she's got to be prepared for things that we know that have happened, and she is doing a very diligent look at the zoning ordinance, and sometimes comes up with a couple of things, I'm like, I beg your pardon, would you read that? And, you know, so,
She's pretty, she says she loves it, so.
yeah, she does, I mean, she just thrives on this, and good for her, you know. It needs someone a little bit younger than I am, yes, it does, in this office, because you've gotta have some stamina. But it seems like everything's working out fine with Michelle.
All right, I got a question, cause
Okey doke.
we kinda got blindsided with the.
Yeah, we did.
With the part-time, full-time.
Everything.
Did we not create a full-time position when we decided we were gonna go make her position to a part-time to a full-time? Did we not say we're gonna make a full-time position and the part-time position should have stayed there?
No, it did not happen.
No,
that
it didn't.
way.
But, well, I know they didn't fund a part-time position.
My question is, if they had hired Michelle at the end of 2023, there was no full-time position there to fund that either. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the rub is now, but.
Well,
I mean, we.
But what
voted
I know
for making it full-time.
I know, but if we made it a full-time position, went to, our HR department and said, hey, create us a full-time position, the part-time position's still sitting there. They didn't do a line item.
No, it's not, because
They changed it.
I was told how to write my 2024 budget,
Yeah, I know that.
and it only reflected the full-time.
I get that, but a line item, well, I guess because of what you said,
Yeah,
you didn't put the line item for the full, for
No.
the part-time position.
No.
You had, well.
I will
okay.
say, I had a line item last year that I didn't fund, but I had money appropriated to it, because once the line item is created, it stays as the line item even if it's unfunded. I had that experience
We
last year.
can use the line item, we
You
just
can
have
use
to.
the line item number, it just says, that's what I did last year, because I have a line item that year had $0 appropriated to it, it didn't show up on my normal budget ledger because it wasn't funded, but since I had it in the past, I could fund that line item,
What we're gonna do here tonight is
just for what that's.
vote to create a part-time position in her office so that
I can get
so that
paid.
she can get paid and the council can appropriate the money to that account to pay her through February the 15th. So you guys all good with that, Randy?
Absolutely.
I mean, we did it, I thought we
I'm
did
glad you're
it.
being amenable.
I thought we did it the
I have
right
a
way,
question.
but I mean, I guess pick up.
So, if she was to need off work for an emergency, whatever, would you be interested?
I would, and
Okay.
and she and I have talked about that, because she's gonna eventually earn a vacation time, and she'll want to take that time.
Yeah.
Or, like you say, you know, she goes along with mom and dad when they have to go somewhere for a procedure, she'll go.
Well, we're all human, we all get sick, we all get injured, there's.
I
guess-
told her she can't get sick and she can't get injured.
So then I
That's
guess
off
what
the
we,
table.
so I guess what
Yeah, I
what
got
we're
that
talking about
covered.
is that we just need to vote on creating a part-time position for that department to be utilized whenever, you know, it is. I mean, I know there's no money in there, or they're gonna place money in there to pay you, but, you know, I guess it's gonna be an at need to say, we need you to reallocate money over to this line item, so.
Yeah, and that's gonna have to be figured out
Everybody's
once she starts
So
earning
what you're
vacation
thinking,
time.
Randy?
Yeah, I mean, because, yeah, I mean, even if, at the very least, I'm sorry, I'm not interrupting here, but at the very least, I mean, if Michelle gets sick, whatever, or goes on vacation, better example, and Marty comes in and fills in, there's gonna be days that they're gonna have to overlap their time to catch back up on what happened,
Yeah.
and Marty shouldn't be doing that for free.
So we should be able to use. we should
You
be
are
able-
so right.
I disagree with you, Randy.
Well,
We should be able to take a look at what PTO, her PTO accrual is.
Yeah.
And be able to use that as an estimate to say this is the amount of potential time she could take off, and then create an estimate of this is the amount of time that we might need,
Right.
and then ask for that as the appropriation, the additional appropriation for the part-time. I think that's probably the best.
And
way
we'll
to
leave
work.
that up to you. We're not good at math.
Okay.
You're the math person.
I'm a geek, yeah.
So I'm gonna entertain a motion to create a part-time position for the area plan, to cover training and off time, whether sick or vacation.
you do.
Yes,
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion,
I'll second.
Greg
Thank
seconds
you.
that, and I'll make that unanimous,
Thank
so
you.
she might get paid.
I eventually will get paid. You know, I'm not gonna say it's not a big deal, but, you know, I would like that, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it is getting hard to find people who work for free. I mean,
Yes, it's going to get really hard around February 15th, so.
Side note,
Incentive will be gone then.
did that letter get resent?
No, it has not. We kind of got swamped this. You know, I keep forgetting that she's down there, and then she has questions, and then that just, you know, it's starting to speed up a little bit, but I am still not getting things done. And I don't even have the annual report done, which I usually do by this time. But I can let you know that total value added for structures that were built. Of course, we always take either the contractor's figure, which should be right around the amount that is gonna be realized in value. But then you have some guys that come in and say, well, I'm just gonna tear this down, it's only gonna cost me $500, and we're all sitting there, no, it's not. But we go ahead and take that, and then the assessor catches up when, you know. But right now, according to last year's figures, the total value added to the county is like $11,569,155. Not bad, but it's still lower than last year, and I'm sitting there going, I'm gonna go over that figure again sometime. But our collections is like 6,000 more than what it was in 2022, and everybody knows how, okay, $46,482.24 is what we took in fees. We did 207 permit packets that's issued, and that's 51 more than what we did in 2022. So now I can understand why 2023 was just kind of a crazy year down there.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So, and I bet you guys can't guess which is the most popular structure to build here in Scott County.
This, it starts with a P, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's pole
Second word
barns.
B.
Pole barns. And, Vienna had the most with 15, no, I'm sorry. Johnson and Vienna both had 15 each. And then Jennings had 11. And Lexington only had 9, and Finley had 2. So 52 pole barns have been added to this community. Which is why every time you go for a drive, where'd that come from? Well, it's a pole barn. So, yeah, we're getting more people coming in for demolitions because they want something done. And of course, we only had one commercial venture, and that's over at Lexington, and that's kind of stalled right now. But Ben went over and talked to them last week because there hasn't been any action on that site for about a month. And they said, well, we're just waiting for the bank to catch up, and so we can give them more money. Okay, we'll check back with you on that then, okay?
So the tanks
Okay.
aren't in?
Huh?
The tanks aren't in?
The tanks are partially in, but they still not, no. At least as of last week, and with the weather we've had, I'm sure they're still sitting there. So, yay, we'll get that done eventually, okay?
Or have a big swimming pool,
Huh?
or have a big swimming pool out there.
Well, yeah, that's true. So have you got any questions for me?
When are you leaving?
My last day is February 15th. Well, I told Michelle, I said, hey, you know, we've already got 2 variances and 1 conditional use variance already filed with the community, with the department. So I know Board of Appeals is going to meet. And I'm trying to get together the Mobile Home Act. Because even though there are fewer mobile homes, and I'm talking about the single wides, coming in to the community, they're still coming in. And I know you guys want to correct that and make sure that those are good structures that are coming in. So that's the only way we're gonna do it, is by an ordinance change.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
So hopefully we can get that done so the Planning Commission can meet and approve that and send it on to the Board of Commissioners. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Huh? Oh, well,
She's been a few.
I'm fine. I can.
I didn't wanna see you have to stay another 5 days or so.
That was a very strange experience and one that I hope I never have
Yeah,
again.
we don't wanna repeat that.
No, we don't.
All right, do you have that contract for the cleaning?
I just had it in my hand, yeah.
Talked with Eric Sexton about the cleaning of the courthouse with the current cleaners we have, and he seems to be very excited with the way they do their business and what kind of job they do, and have not had any phone calls from any of the other departments saying that something's wrong or something's whatever, so if you see that. So, got any comments, questions?
No, I'm very happy with the cleaning service we've been getting.
And again, that's,
The amount that we pay. I mean,
and that's, again, and I don't know if streamlining cleaning services, because I know the health department's got somebody different, somebody else got somebody different. I mean, I don't know if it's something where we could say, you know, we got one cleaning service instead of, and I guess maybe the next time because I do know the health department did advertise and took quotes and whatever for that, so, so hopefully, I don't know why we would hopefully get it the same service doing it all, so maybe they will, so. Anyway, I'll entertain a motion to accept Canetha's Cleaning Service LLC in the amount of $2,000 a month, which cleans the courthouse nightly, so.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to accept the commercial cleaning contract with Canetha's Cleaning Service. Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. Is there a place on here to sign?
As long as
Didn't think there was.
we can sign the back.
Yeah. Moving along, Empower program signatures.
Okay, when Evan Lane was here last, we had a couple of funds that weren't performing so much in our retirement accounts. He made, suggestion to change. He's talked to Empower, those accounts are on there, they're highlighted in the red, and we'll need a signature to approve that. And that's for the 457, 451, I think it was.
401.
401. So I'll need 2 signatures on that if you wanna do that, but it'll show you that what's being added, the 2 funds that are being added and the 2 funds that are being taken away.
So is his service similar to like Edward Jones where he has to ask us
They make,
to
yeah,
move it?
yeah.
Cause see with Edward Jones, they just they do that. If they see something that's not working right, they change it on their own. But, I guess. I wouldn't know one for the other.
Yeah, I mean, when it goes corporate, you know, accounts, they won't, they just, you have to get them to do it. You have to give them direction.
Okay. So, comment, question?
No, not really.
Greg? I guess I'll entertain a motion to accept his 2 changes then. Randy makes a motion to, accept the changes for Empower to change the, I guess it would be the, investment strategies. Greg?
I'll say,
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so. Is there a signature on both these? Or is this-
Yes.
Consideration of board appointments, and I'm going to ask that to be tabled because I personally have talked to a couple of people, but I haven't got a response from those people, and I'd like to have another meeting or another couple of weeks to handle the ones I'm talking about, and what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I think so, yeah.
I agree, I'd rather table it right now.
You wanna table that to the first meeting in February?
Yes. There's not a whole lot that's gonna change, but it's just a couple of board appointments that, I'd like to reach out to somebody and haven't got the answer out yet, so. Consideration of the regular and special invoices,
We did not have any special invoices. I thought we did, but
that's fine. Do we have the regular claims?
no, I think that was the first of the month. So
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we're good on that.
good deal. Consideration of the payroll for January the 12th, 2023. Actually, I wanna look at that first. Go ahead. I'll entertain a motion to accept the payroll for January the 12th, 2023. Actually, it should be 12th, 2024, so.
Oh, it should be, yeah.
I'll make that motion, I'd like to see the pages down.
Well, some of them,
Yeah,
a couple I'd like that,
they probably earned it.
probably not. I'll entertain a motion, so you make
I
that
made a
motion. Randy makes a motion, Greg.
I'll say that.
Greg seconds it, I'll make that unanimous, so. And the last is consideration of the minutes. Everybody had an opportunity to look at the minutes.
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to approve the minutes for January 3rd, 2024.
I'll say,
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. I'm not sure they're paid Nick.
Not enough for that.
That's why I'm trying to check here, make sure it's what I told him to put on there.
They forgot the 0.
Yeah, at the beginning. At the beginning with the.
Did you get paid?
No, he did not.
Oh, thank you.
you know the answer to that.
That was a poke.
Just rub it in.
Check your tires before you
Anybody got anything extra? Greg? Randy?
Well, I did at the beginning of the meeting, but go ahead with your extra.
Actually, you're gonna be surprised here. Maybe not. I do have something, and it's actually a pledge from me, that some of these properties around the county that, I kind of it's a heartache kind of thing, is that someone owns property, someone shouldn't be able to tell them X, Y, Z or whatever, cause they own the property, they're paying on it, it's paid for, they own it. But in recent years, we have started to have some properties that people aren't maintaining, aren't keeping, and I'm talking trash, junk, cars, you know, and we have ordinances to rectify those situations, and yes, we as commissioners have that responsibility to do that, along with the health department, along with area plan, and the ordinances that we have on file. Me personally, again, as I said earlier, people own their properties. They ought to be able to do 99.99% of what they want to do on their properties. But when properties are out here that have so much debris in their yard that you don't even know if they got a yard or grass or whatever, there's a point in time when somebody needs to step in and say, enough's enough, clean your property up. And there's a health problem with that too, because some of these places, you know, you're gonna get rodents, some other animals that are going to inhabit the area, and it's not necessarily affecting those people, but it might be affecting the neighbors beside them, behind them, across the road from them. And I'm pledging to people that I have a short list already, so I mean, I'm gonna be handing that list to the health department for them to go inspect and determine whether these places are actually able to live healthy in the environment they're in. So that's the one thing that I wanted to say at this meeting, because I keep driving by the same properties and more stuff is accumulating there. So again, my pledge is that we're going to do something about it. So that's it, Randy. See, told you.
Alright, so,
This long?
and I'm sure we do, but if a county vehicle is wrecked, there's a drug and alcohol screening, right?
Correct.
It is part of the handbook, isn't it?
Alright, so, and where's that drug and alcohol screening taking place? Is it the hospital?
We have a service at the health department that during their hours, they'll do it. But if it's alcohol, I think they have to go somewhere else. They would have to go to, the hospital probably to do that. But if it's just a drug test, a urine sample is what I guess I'm getting at. That is done at the health department during their open hours. After hours, they go to the hospital.
You're capable of performing this, right?
What?
Your department.
In theory, I don't have the equipment for it now. I mean, yes and no. We'd have to get some stuff, like I don't keep it on hand, but yes, we are capable.
Okay, what would you need? I mean,
Do you want blood or do you want urine?
You're not getting blood from there.
We can do both.
Well, the thing about it is, then
which is the most accurate? It's blood?
I think we would have to look at our ordinance, because I don't know if blood is even on that.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
think we would have to look at the handbook.
Because I know it's a drug and alcohol stipulation, but and those are the primary tests. If someone refuses, or sometimes, I mean, even some people will say, I want a blood draw. I mean, if it's a fatality or serious injury accident, it's a blood draw and it's not, it's, you know.
That's a state thing.
Could, right now, I'm not trying to say we are or we aren't because we haven't discussed it. I'm just, it's something that's been rolling around the back of my mind.
Okay.
If we was to do something like that, would you be able to take on that additional role?
You know I'm gonna tell you, yeah, but at the same time, the problem with that is I feel like you're gonna wanna limit who can initiate those tests. I don't think you just want, I mean, there needs to be a series of confidentiality there, in my opinion. And I wouldn't, just speaking for me, wouldn't want just any employee doing that. Like any of my employees, I wouldn't wanna say, hey, part-time Marty, go perform this test on this county employee. Like I don't feel right with that. You know, I think it would need to be like one of the three up front that initiated that test, just in my opinion, just from a fail-safe and confidentiality aspect of things. I know right now, Mike's 100% correct. If something happens during business time hours, we take the employee to the health department. If it's after hours, they go to the hospital. So that's just, it's a workman's comp thing typically. And I'd venture to say most times people are going to the hospital to get checked out anyway, so it's one of those, just do it while you're there.
And where does that report go back to? Who's getting
That comes
that?
to us.
Those are the auditors.
Yes, we'll get a copy of the workman's comp claim, like the department head will, but I think the finalized report goes to their office. We
So
don't
no
know.
matter what department, it goes back to you,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
We don't, I know
As far
it's,
as I know, it does. I mean, and the
I know
thing
as
is
the
though,
department head, I don't get a very detailed report. I get like a one-page carbon copy and then pretty much a one-page breakdown, but it doesn't give results or anything on our end. It just says this was what was performed. This is, you know, if there's a discharge that says you can't work for 2 weeks, that's on there. But usually we don't get it for 2 or 3 weeks after anyway, so that person's usually already back to work. When we get our packet, I don't know when you guys get yours, but yeah. So I mean, it depends on why you're sending them. You know, if I would not feel comfortable doing it if there's potential injury involved and they're already doing that anyway. I feel like we're just triple stamping a double stamp at that point. But if it's one of those things that there's no complaint and you just want this test performed, then yeah, I mean, we can do blood or urine. But I also don't feel like I would want just any employee initiating the test. Like, that's just me.
Well, and I'm not saying I want you to, right now, I'm
The
just
potential
looking
is
around
there,
a lot of things.
I mean,
So-
that's just me speaking, because I know if I was an employee, I would.
This is a fact-finding question,
Okay.
is what this is.
I know, I mean, we even still have some of the, I don't know if they're, you might know the answer to this, is it LabCorp that does the FedEx ones, or used to? We have a couple of those like sealed bags that you open in front of them, they go do it, and then we seal it and mail it out. We have a couple of those as well in the office.
If you don't have something like that and you're looking for something that might cause somebody to lose their job, you have to be very careful with what your rules and regs say. But if your consideration, you might consider a pupil swab, much easier, less invasive, faster turnaround.
Yeah, that's true. I know blood for us would take like 10-minute turnaround, on our equipment. Urine, I mean, it's
That
no
has to
different
go
than what you
last.
can go to CVS or Walmart or Walgreens or Rite Aid for, they're all the same thing.
Okay.
But then you have that whole privacy aspect of, you know, either somebody's got a watch or somebody's got a, you know, and I'm not all, I mean, that's, if you go, if
There's a
you,
lot to it.
yeah.
Oh, you mean you don't carry a porta pot around with you?
You know, you have to have a secure room for them to place all their items, articles and clothing in, and then,
It's easier to just go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Have somebody sit in the ambulance on a bedpan?
I'm not,
No,
no.
okay. Well, all
Or
right,
not.
thank you for answering.
Greg? Jennifer?
I think I'm good.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes the motion to close the meeting, Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconds, and I'll make that unanimous, so.